Nothing.
Okay. Nothing.
Nothing. Don't worry. Hey, listen to me. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry. Don't worry your little head. Keep it moving. Keep it light. Keep it fresh. Hello, world, and welcome to Development Heaven, the Ready Player One of podcasts. I am your long lost twin brother, Vincent Marnelli.
And I am your I've always been there, though you wish it was otherwise twin brother, Glenn Cagle.
It's a design podcast where the two of us talk about development hell and all the changes your favorite piece of media go through. This week, it's family-themed, Glenn.
That's right, Vincent. We're talking about family, but first we need to decide who goes first, right?
Yeah.
No pre-episode faff this time.
Nope. Why? Why would we even?
Actually, you know what? I said that, but now here's one thing I want to say, Vincent.
Okay.
Let's just get this out of the way. This is episode 9. Mm-hmm. This is our last one-digit podcast episode. So, salute, sayonara.
Wow.
I
wasn't sad.
We'll never be in single digits again.
Well, no, you're right. Damn.
Well, until we start another series. Or maybe if we restart numbering like season 2 or something like that, maybe. I don't know.
But, if we do it based on cable TV, this would be like 109, and then next season will be 201.
Is that how they do that?
Yeah. So
Weird.
It doesn't exactly... Glenn, it's the end of an era.
It is.
So you're right. Salute all you gamers out there.
I'll add taps in post.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right. It's all about family this week, so I thought I would settle disputes the same way we settle all disputes with our family. That's by flipping a coin, right? Have you ever actually flipped a coin to decide something?
No, we're a rock, paper, scissors family.
Rock, paper, scissors. Well, we could do that too. No, that's problematic considering we're not in the same room.
Yeah, that would be tough.
Unless
we...
Hey,
wait.
I've been what?
Unless we do like an auditory rock, paper, scissors.
Okay, elaborate on that.
Well, we've done in the past where we both say things at the same time, and that always lines up perfectly.
Yeah, somehow that's really perfect how it lines up exactly every single time.
I can't explain it because there's definitely latency over our internet connection.
Yeah, it's magic or something.
So we could try that again.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's try.
Do we shoot on go or shoot on 3?
Shoot on 3.
Okay, ready?
Wait,
no, you say rock, paper, scissors, shoot, and you shoot on shoot.
Yes, shoot on shoot.
Shoot on shoot.
Shoot on shoot. Here we go.
It's been a while since I played rock, paper, scissors. I gotta be honest with you.
Yeah. We'll be fine. Ready?
Ready.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Wait. Okay, so shoot on shoot. We don't say shoot, we just shoot.
And we say what we're doing.
And we say what we shoot. Okay, this time I got it. Ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Rock, paper, scissors, rock.
Paper. That's it. Looks like I'm going first.
All right, I concede.
All right. May the best rock.
You cheated.
I cheated?
Yeah, you cheated. I won't accept this.
That is also present in what I'm going to talk about today, which is the Over the Hedge comic strip and Over the Hedge the movie.
No way.
Yeah, dude.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, dude. What
awesome.
are you talking about? Okay. We're doing family, and I thought, nothing screams family better than my favorite furry film. Favorite furry film, Over the Hedge.
You didn't have to. Okay. Yeah.
Vincent, I've been scarred for
We're all thinking it, but nobody said it.
Well, that's not true. I actually went to, in my research for this, one of the resources that frequently came up on the Google search was the Furpedia, or Wikifur, or something like that.
Okay.
It had an entire article on Over the Hedge, and the only difference that I could the only big difference between it and the Wikipedia article that I could suss out is the fact that the animal characters were listed above the human characters on the Furrypedia.
Great. I'm already learning something new. I had no idea there was a Furrypedia.
It doesn't surprise me.
Cool.
Yeah, it's good.
It is.
So
Yeah,
we've
great.
got. So
I read the Over the Hedge comic strip a lot.
for real.
back
Okay,
when
I
was a
didn't know
kid.
that it was a
Yeah.
real thing. I didn't know that it existed until doing research for this.
I was a child, and my assumption was that the movie was first, and that the comic strip was based off of those great DreamWorks characters.
Well, because the comic strip is still going.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. No, the comic strip's been around since 1995, so pretty longevity, I guess. You can read it all online for free on the website of their syndicate that publishes it.
Nice.
Anyway,
I do. My heart goes out to comic strip artists. Because it's kind of a tough gig.
Yeah, for real. I don't know. What did you read any comic strips going up? Like comics, or I know you I know you're big into like Marvel and stuff like that, but
Well, if we're talking about like the funny papers, I have the entire Calvin and Hobbes
nice
back catalog, because I love that. That's my favorite comic.
Yeah, that was always my favorite too. I had I had one of their books.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, love that shit. I didn't own any physical comics growing up, really. I only got into that in high school because I decided that
You were going to be
I didn't want any girls to ever interact with me.
I see. The creators of the original comic strip Over the Hedge were Michael Fry and T. Lewis.
Okay.
And one of the great things about the movie, the thing that makes the movie so great, is that they were used as consultants during the movie. So
makes sense.
Last episode we talked about Dune and how, if you try to get an author to write a screenplay, that's not always the best move because it's a different skill set. So they didn't make that mistake, and they didn't make the mistake of leaving them out entirely. So yeah, they were just sort of like creative consultant, I think was the official term. Anyway, the original idea that they had, Fry and Lewis, when they were gonna back in 1995 when they were gonna start this comic strip, was two pigs on a farm commenting on the humans' lifestyle,
Animal Farm.
Yeah, but not but it was more about consumerist culture, not about communism or whatever.
Okay.
I know that's a fine line to walk, Vincent.
A little bit. It kind of just, yeah. I know, Glenn, I know
Farm?
books. Yeah, I know. Don't even.
We have a bona fide intellectual over here, in case you didn't realize.
Listen, I know you called me the Kirk earlier, right? But
you're more of the Spock.
Yeah, I know. No, Khan knows books, right?
Khan knows books.
Yeah.
Like the Grapes of Wrath.
I don't want to be
Wrath
Khan.
Of Khan. How about this? You can be the RJ, and I can be the Yertle the Turtle. Vern.
I would love to be RJ. Thank you.
You're welcome.
What? When did the movie come out?
2006.
Okay. Yeah, that seems right.
Yeah, anyway, they started it when they started out. It was supposed to be two pigs on a farm observing humans, and it was this whole kind of satirical, commentary on consumerism, which is also present in the movie. However, when they pitched this idea to their publishing syndicate for the comic, they said they were told, "quote Nobody likes pigs." So they just shut that right down. Toss that one right in the bloody bin, mate. And
I don't know if they're right. I like pigs.
I like pigs. My sister's lock screen is a pig in rain boots.
Yeah, I think they were off base. Another example of producers, being completely out of touch with reality. Everybody loves pigs.
Everybody loves
fools.
pigs. They were dead wrong, and you know how we know? Because Babe came out in 1995, a month after they made that pitch.
Great.
And it was stellar. People really loved it.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was too late to go back now. They had already changed the pigs to these three cute little forest animals. That would be RJ the raccoon and Vern the turtle, and eventually they added Hammy the squirrel. The other characters that are present in the movie were invented for the movie specifically. They are not in the comic strip. Yeah, not at all.
Interesting.
I thought you said you read the comic strip.
I was a child, um, and I didn't notice continuity. I always just assumed
They
that
would all be there. You just never saw them.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just those three characters. And then I think
Isn't William Shatner a possum?
in the movie, correct, yes.
Nice.
He's
More
like
Star
a
Trek.
like a sharp Shakespearean actor or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, something like
all the resources that I looked at were like the Shakespearean possum played by William Shatner.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Anyway, where were we? What were we talking about? They changed it to 3 forest animals instead.
Right.
Yeah, and there's like two other the two humans are heavily featured as like characters. They're not like in the movie all the humans are like evil. Like that's like the kind of the plot. But in the book or in the book, in the comic strip, the two humans that live on the end of the block closest to the woods are like I think they come to like befriend the animals.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting because when you were talking about the whole furrypedia thing, how
Furrypedia?
like on regular Wikipedia, the humans are listed first.
They're not
kind of strange.
No, they're listed. They're all just listed as characters. But in the Furrypedia, it had them stratified as animals and then human characters.
Right.
That was my point.
The lesser. Okay. I'm on board.
Yeah.
I'm on the same page.
Yeah. Yeah. So this guy named Jim Cox. I need to stop saying that because last time I said this guy, it was this guy named Jeffrey Katzenberg, and you were like, Jeffrey Katzenberg? Yeah. You mean the Jeffrey Katzenberg? And I was like, I guess. And I was like, oh, this guy named Michael Eisner. And you're like, you mean the Michael Eisner? I was like, yeah, I guess.
Michael Eisner.
I guess, yes, yeah. I guess the Michael Eisner. I just didn't know that he was the CEO of Disney. So now you got me paranoid. I'm like, every time I see a name, I'm clicking it and then reading his wiki page just to make sure I don't know him from anything.
I don't include a lot of names in mine anymore because it's so many committees and it's like this person was attached at this point, but then like 1 year later it's a completely different person. It's like it's not even. There's no point.
Well, I believe in big man history where you cite one guy as being responsible for any historical event. So
yeah.
Jim Cox saw the comic and he was just all over it. So he contacted Fry and Lewis. I don't know if you know this, but like on comic strips, like like published in newspapers and stuff like that, they'll leave like their email address wedged in between the little the panels, like that little white gap between there.
I sort of remember that.
Like their names, phone numbers, and email addresses in between those. So that's what he did. He emailed them via that address, and they all got together in their Warriors 3 and pitched the idea to just all the studios, just like just real shotgun approach.
Right. And
Fox, Henson, and DreamWorks were like, they got back with them and said and started this bidding war. And so not every day that a comic strip gets turned into or gets actually bid on by movies. Usually it takes some sort of like persuasion, like like you have to persuade the studio to take your movie. But
okay.
But in this instance, it was one of those where you actually had 3 different studios all bidding on it, and
that's the dream.
The dream, yeah, like as in DreamWorks.
Man, I set him up, you knock him down, huh?
I try, at least. In this case, the dream was for DreamWorks to pick it up, but alas, DreamWorks was but a small boutique of a institution at that time, and Fox was the monolith that it is, was able to easily just outbid the other two, and get its grubby little hands on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they never did anything with it. It just sat on their shelf for like, this is 1995. This is like literally the year that the comic strip was released or started.
Okay, gotcha.
So it's sat on their shelf for what, like 6 years. So 2001, the rights expire.
Right. Okay.
And Fox says, you know what? I don't know.
They're too busy making Family Guy, or maybe The Simpsons at the time.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, Fox is like Simpsons.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, it's Simpsons is incredibly popular, so it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, DreamWorks executive Tim Johnson just snapped that one right off the ground. I don't know.
He snuck in at night and stole it from him.
Well, it wasn't stealing because it wasn't theirs anymore, but
right.
He may be charged with breaking and entering. We don't know. Yeah. Okay. And as the article that I was reading said, they got to work right away on it. He got
No
back.
faff.
No faff. No faff. I wonder what that's like. Um. Yeah. So when they first got the rights and they started working on it, they started writing that script. They were just assumed that it was going to be like Babe for some reason. I mean, this is 2001, so
Okay.
it's 6 years since Babe came out. I don't know why they were stuck on that, but they were like, yeah, it's going to be live action like Babe, and we're going to have, animals and.
Yeah, I can't see that being good.
Yeah, I guess they would have used CGI in the 90s. I don't know, to make the animal mouths move. But they started throwing around some ideas because, I guess they had some doubts.
Right.
And eventually,
I mean, one of the main characters is a turtle, right? Like that wouldn't.
that would have been really
hard.
hard. Yeah.
Yeah, if it was a real turtle.
And like the sizes, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have the bear at the time. That was not
Right.
part of it. So
Isn't the bear's name Vince?
it is. It's Vincent. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a fun little
Gotcha.
connection there for you. This whole episode it's about family, it's about connections,
It's about references.
and that's what's so important about it.
Yeah, that's
It's about Star Trek.
Star Trek is like a family. Let's move on. They toyed around with some other ideas like CGI animals, like
Right.
like the Garfield movie.
Yeah, like the Garfield movie.
That would have been interesting to say the least.
It would have been better than the Babe one.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's a step up for sure.
Yeah.
And then they were real tight with Aardman at the time. Like DreamWorks and Aardman had just done like Chicken
okay.
Run or something like that,
Right.
or were
Love
about
Chicken
to.
Run.
Yeah, so they actually had, they at one point thought they might do claymation, but
Mhm.
I think Aardman was busy with something else, or just didn't want to do Over the Hedge. So they eventually decided they would just make it all like a 2D cartoon, like the comic.
Right.
And then I
Wait,
guess
2D cartoon?
yeah, and I don't know how far they got with that before they were like, before they just scrapped that and switched it to 3D CGI.
Weird.
Yeah, I don't know, but like apparently they had like set on 2D, like that was like the thing to do because it was a comic. I mean, it makes sense. It's the natural connection to make. I don't know.
Let me see if I can find any like art.
I don't know how far they got with it. Because I think at this point they were still just writing the script. I don't think they were doing any
Right. Okay. But surely like art would have been
concept
made.
art. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, they had the comic material.
Right. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything.
Okay, so I guess they switched to 3D CGI pretty quick. I mean, it
Mm-hmm.
was 2001. We talked about before, like the death of the Disney Renaissance and the rise of 3D CGI with like Toy Story and Shrek, Ants, and
Shrek 2.
Bug's Life. Shrek
Yeah.
2 was about to come out. It was
Okay.
2001.
Cool.
Actually, no, Shrek had just come out. So that's the era we're in. 3D animation looks good. They're
A
saying
post Shrek world.
a post Shrek world, yeah. So everyone's on that high of 3D
Mhm.
animation. So yeah,
With just awful licensed music.
are you
Don't deny me that it was a trend.
what Ben Folds?
No, but like 3D animated movies with awful licensed music.
That was just the music that people would listen to in the early 2000s. That was the dark
Yeah.
age of music,
Yeah.
and I think Ben Folds was a light in the darkness. So I don't want to hear it from you, Vincent.
Okay. All right. I won't speak to Ben Folds anymore. I
I thought
promise.
you said you liked him.
I do. I mean, I like this. I like the Over the Hedge soundtrack.
Okay.
But in the same way that I do like the Shrek soundtrack. And
It's like
not
when we
because I
went to
would-
Wendy's and you were like, I like Wendy's, but it's not good food. You're like, I like Ben Folds, but it's not good music. Is that your?
Okay, sure.
Is that your?
I
am putting
don't
words in
want
your
to.
mouth,
I
or
don't
is
want
that-
to. No, because I don't want to like put objectivity into music review. I don't want to. I'm not throwing my hat in that.
So you're saying there is
whole
objectivity in
department.
food review?
Yes,
Okay.
that's what I'm saying. Tweet at me, but leave me out of any music discussion, please.
Let's stick to the facts, Vincent.
Okay. Facts. Wendy's kind of sucks. Another fact: Bruce Willis was RJ
Well, he was RJ. He was also in a lot of other movies that I just really like. Another fact, originally the movie would have been a lot more like the comic. So this comic it follows like the gag of the day format, which is like, a 4-panel, 3-panel strip that just, ends with a pun or a yabba dabba doo or something like that, or a zooey mama.
Sure.
And that's what it was. That's what they were thinking about making in this movie too, sort of like a day in the life set piece, or day in life set pieces that they kind of string together.
Huh.
And
I can't think of any movies that have done that.
Yeah, because it sucks.
Yeah, that's not a good idea.
It's a terrible idea. They decided to not do that. As soon as actual film writers got their hands on it, they were like, "How about instead of that, we do an origin story?" Because in the very first episode of Over the Hedge comic, RJ and Vern are just already friends. Like they just live in the forest together. They're already friends. So the writers of the film were like, let's write the story about how RJ and Vern meet, and and the subdivision, and they're taking it all the way back to the start of the subdivision that is such an integral part of the comic strip.
Right.
So yeah, they adapted it to this long form film format, but they still kept Lewis and Fry, the original writers, on as creative consultants, and that was mostly just to keep the tone of the thing.
It makes sense.
Yeah,
that's how I would do it too.
Mm-hmm. They changed the characters pretty drastically. In fact, RJ in the original comic was somewhat unintelligent. And he's often depicted without a brain, like opening up his skull cavity, and like he keeps his like breath mints in there. Whereas in the movie, I feel like RJ is cunning and how you imagine a raccoon to be.
Sure.
Whereas and also in the comic, Vern is more
creepy. That's how I imagine raccoons.
Creepy. They do have the bandit mask, the little domino mask.
No, but it's more like their nasty little hands.
They do have hands. Why do they have hands? Only humans are allowed to have those.
Yeah, it's messed up.
Yeah. God was like, apes, you get hands. Raccoons, you can have them too, but make sure to
There's
eat
a word
trash.
for that. What is it? Like divergent evolution or something? Where two separate branches still end up with the same... It's just, why raccoons, though? Give it to anybody else. Give a dog hands. I don't care.
Snakes? I don't care.
Yeah.
What if a snake had just a hand on the end of its tail?
That would... Oh, God. Oh.
What have we created?
That's awful.
What have I created? I don't want to put this bird
It could
on your
swing
shoulders.
from vines using its own momentum.
Bruh.
That would be cool.
Well, I think we're missing the true terror here, and that's that the snake could wield weapons.
It could hold a gun.
It could hold a gun.
It could choke you out in 2 different ways now.
In 2 different ways. It could choke you out and punch you in the face at the same time.
That's no good.
It's like a face hugger. Except without the... Never mind. That's stupid. Y'all ever heard of face huggers? That's
the Ready Player One of podcasts.
Jeez. Well, face huggers were like... The whole idea was like to combine spiders and snakes into one creature.
Ew, is that true?
Yeah. So that's why it wraps its snake tail around your neck and then wraps its spider legs around your face.
Yeah, not a fan.
Grody.
It's a good thing those things aren't real, right, Glenn?
Right.
It's a good thing snakes don't have hands. And it's just raccoons. Wait, now we're back where we started.
Oof. Wow, that was a good cul-de-sac there. Speaking of cul-de-sacs, suburbs.
Yep. Ooh, that was clean.
Tight. Keep it fresh.
Yeah.
Pop my collar. Well, I had to say it out loud because I did the hand motion and I was like, wait, you can't see that.
Yep. Here, I'm popping my collar now too. Let me see if I can make a sound. Wait.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, all right.
Nice. Just like RJ. The turtle, Vern, was the smart one in both the film and the comic strip. However, in the comic strip, he was more of like a Renaissance man, in that he wasn't just nerdy about like book smarts, but he was also like into like I don't know, like art and music and things like that.
An intellectual.
He was an intellectual.
He's sort of a stick in the mud in the movie, isn't he?
Right, yeah, and
Right.
that wasn't the way it was. He was a computer nerd in the book, which doesn't show, or in the comic, which doesn't show up in the movie because, you know, they never have a computer.
Sure.
In the comic, they're shown like watching TV and playing games on their computer like all the time. Like
Cool.
they just steal stuff from the subdivision. But yeah, he's not even the leader of the group in the comic. I mean, there's not much of a group. It's just him, Hammy, and RJ. So they're just more of a loose conglomerate. But
Right. A squad.
a team,
A tribe.
No, a little bit smaller than a tribe. I'd say they're a tribe.
You're
in
right.
the
So I would
movie.
say in the movie it's a tribe.
It's a tribe, yeah.
A community.
A fire
even.
team. So.
Synonyms.com for more words for team.
Let's don't. So
Okay.
this is a bad bit. In the
I
comic strip,
couldn't remember what a thesaurus was called.
you need a thesaurus to look up the.
I need a thesaurus, so I said synonym.com. I wonder if that's a thing. Probably, right?
I mean, it's got to be.
Okay. I'm not going to check.
We'll leave that for you, the listener.
If it doesn't exist, we should
Make
buy
it.
the
We
rights
should
and
buy it,
link
yeah.
it back to our Twitter or something.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. So in the movie, when they decided that they would make him more the stick in the mud worrywart type character, it was important that a trap that a lot of times film writers fall into is that their leader character turns into this sort of I don't know what they said called a one note whiner in one quote.
Okay.
Basically, like all he ever says is maybe we shouldn't do that. And Lewis and Fry kind of the creators of the comic strip kind of like helped to make sure that didn't happen, that he still retained like a personality and was somewhat funny. You know, with the reptile, like that's a bad impression, but you know what I'm talking about. Like
Was that your Bruce Willis impression?
what? No, that was
Does Vern say it in the movie?
Vern like says it through gritted teeth at one point when somebody calls him an amphibian and he's like,
Right. Okay.
reptile.
Damn, dude.
Yeah,
That's probably not a deep cut. I just don't remember.
it's not a deep cut. You just haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's that, and then he like takes off his shell. Classic guy.
That always weirded me out.
Did it weird?
I mean,
you out? I thought it
like
was funny as a
DreamWorks,
kid.
yeah, they can't help themselves with like, you know, butt jokes or whatever, but
Is
seeing a turtle naked is so cursed.
I think that's what made it funny.
Yeah.
This is 2001. This is when cursed memes were not even thought of yet, Vincent.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knew how bad it was gonna get. So here's an interesting thing. The or a fun fact. I should call it by its name. It's a fact that is fun. The
Love it.
artist,
Gotta have it.
the that did like the environment animation or environment modeling, I guess, because it's not moving. As opposed to the character modeling, they would crawl around in their yards and forests with cameras so they could get a feel for how the environment should look from the perspective of a foot-high character.
I actually really like that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's good.
I also heard in like I think it was like the behind-the-scenes thing that's always on those DVDs that they the character modelers actually like went to, I don't know, they had like a petting zoo or whatever, bring in like all the different species that they were gonna have. Or I guess it wasn't a petting zoo. I guess it was like a wildlife sanctuary or something.
You know, they always say that for like animated movies and stuff, but man, those animals don't look anything like
Yeah, I don't know.
like real animals.
Yeah, they
It's
put that
intentional,
in the DVD probably just to like,
Right.
you know.
Don't worry, animals were involved.
Yeah. Oh, you like animals? Here's some animals.
Here's Ben Stiller holding a... Wait, Ben Stiller wasn't in it. I was thinking of Steve Carell.
Yeah.
Here's Steve Carell holding a
squirrel
or whatever.
Yeah. Here's yeah. Okay. So you know do you remember how the movie ended?
I remember Hammy doing stop time
the
scene,
world,
like the Quicksilver one.
Yeah, there Hammy did like stop time when he drank caffeine.
Mm-hmm.
But it was I'm more talking about the scene where there was the dog that I don't know what this dog is supposed to represent, but it can only say a few words. And it like chases them around for a little bit, and they wreck the neighbor's lawn, and then the Verminator shows up and tries to trap and kill the animals. Why he doesn't kill them there, like, I don't know.
Right.
But like apparently his scheme, I mean, Gladys specifically asks him to kill them as inhumanely as possible. So I guess he's like capturing them so he can take them and torture them.
Right. What a fantastic villain.
Yeah.
She just loves torturing animals.
Yeah. Well, she loves the idea of torturing animals, but she doesn't have time to do it herself.
Right. She won't get her hands dirty.
Yeah. She's true lawful evil character. So in the original thing, remember how I told you they didn't originally have the bear?
Right.
Well,
yeah.
what they were planning on doing was having the dog swallow Vern whole. And RJ was going to have to come up and perform the Heimlich on him. The dog.
Yeah.
And get the turtle out of the dog's throat.
I don't need to speak to why that's a problem, right?
Yeah, no.
Everybody is thinking exactly what I'm thinking. I don't even need to say it's too low. It's like low hanging fruit. I don't need to, right? We're all in the okay. Let's move on then, right? So the dog sexually swallows Vern.
Yeah.
And then he spits him out.
And it's the day is saved, and they decide to let RJ join the family.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow I think that would have been a lot more disappointing than the.
Yeah, it doesn't feel quite as earned, huh?
Yeah,
or cinematically interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. Like with the whole like mob tie-in thing with the bear, I think is a lot funnier.
Right.
Yeah. So instead, they had like the Verminator and the bear, like they pitched them against each other, and it did a thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. I think one of the things that makes this movie so great and so much fun is that there is only this is a movie like full of consumerism. Like it's a movie all about consumerism, and they managed to keep it down to only one instance of product placement and one instance of pop culture references.
Wait, so what's the product placement? Because it was all like made up chip brands and stuff. Wasn't it?
Yeah. There's the THX logo is when they're in the house on the TV.
Okay.
They had to pay for that from LucasArts or whatever, and I think that one's appropriate because it's more of a hey, remember? Well, I guess that one's more of a reference because remember, it's like, hey, you remember THX? Remember how loud they are?
Yeah, I do.
And that's true. Yeah, and that's the bit that they play in the movie because like the porcupine loses its quills or something. Remember that?
Yeah,
basically.
Sort of.
Why is that like the speakers are so loud that your quills shoot out of your back?
I don't know. I mean,
is that what porcupines do?
Yes, but not from noise. Yeah, they shoot the.
Well, I guess like surprise.
That's their
defense mechanism.
It's a defense mechanism. I don't
think they shoot them out. I think they just release like if it gets stuck in an animal, then they.
That's probably close to the truth. I doubt it's like a projectile.
Because if it was, I would know about it and I would think it's rad.
There aren't that many projectiles in nature, right?
Other than like spitting, no.
Yeah.
I mean, monkeys are like the only thing that throw things, right?
Great. Raccoons could throw things.
I feel like a raccoon has thrown a thing before.
I think they choose not to as a group of individuals.
As a character, it's Okay.
But they could.
If snakes had hands, they could throw. That's another thing snakes with hands could do. Can you imagine like playing catch with your pet snake?
Do you think they would be good at it?
No.
No. Okay. So then now I can't imagine it.
They have to catch it on the back. Like that's the thing is like if it like our arms are in front of us, but their hand would be behind them. Yeah.
But they could try.
And it would be a real bonding moment. What were we talking? We were talking about like product, like how the movie is full of.
Oh yeah. There was one pop culture reference. Is it the Verminator?
Verminator, yeah.
Yeah, nailed it.
Nailed it. Yeah. So I don't know. Those were both there, but all the other logos and product names were designed by the Over the Hedge team, which is so apparently something they had a lot of fun with, and that's why they're all over like the DVD menu. I don't know if you had the DVD.
Right. I did. I don't remember what you're talking about, but I believe you.
The selection menu is like a vending machine, and they've got like the logos that they drew and were super proud of on each of the products. Yeah, that's fun. That's a fun environment to work in.
I would call that a fun fact, even.
Wow.
Yeah, why not, right?
Why not? You know, originally they were going to have a Gene Wilder owl. We're talking about how like, there's a lot of mammals and then like one reptile for some reason, but originally they were also going to have a bird. Gene Wilder.
Hit that avian demographic.
Yeah, dude, avian. Yeah, I don't know a single avian who watched Over the Hedge.
Yeah,
that's a stupid joke to make. Let's. But speaking of which, that's a good segue, actually.
Oh, really?
Unfortunately,
because now it has to stay in.
Because now I want to talk about Roger Ebert's review of the thing, and
ooh, okay.
And bear in mind, I'm taking this horribly out of context. But you know, he gave it 3 stars, so good. He says, once again, we get an animal population where all the species work together instead of eating one another. And there is even the possibility of interspecies sex. When a human's house cat falls in love with Stella the skunk. There is also the usual speciesism. Mammals and reptiles are first-class citizens, but when a dragonfly gets fried by an insect zapper, no tear is shed. 3 stars.
You know, I was thinking about making fun of him for saying those stupid things, but those are legitimate thoughts I've had about similar movies before.
That's like what, like BoJack Horseman. I feel like that was kind of like their driving force. I mean, I don't know, but like I imagine like they were thinking like, hey, how come there aren't like the insects aren't sentient in animal movies?
Yeah, could be. So maybe he was right on the money.
Yeah, maybe he was. I like how he assumes that just because there's interspecies romance means there's interspecies
sex. It's
sex.
Immediately sex, right?
Yeah. Dude, get your mind out of the gutter, dude. I'm pretty sure he did actually write this one because this was 2001, or 2006. Right. So, yeah, this is him. This is straight out of the horse's mouth. Straight out of the Rogers mouth.
Mm-hmm.
The Rogers fingertips.
They had to put peanut butter in his mouth to make him talk, though.
Probably, yeah. Me too, dude. Anyway, that's all I got. That's what I wanted to end with.
Okay.
So you know what? My heart goes out to Roger Ebert, 3 stars, and Ben Folds. He's never been reviewed by Roger Ebert, but I can tell you right now, that's a 4, baby. That's a 4 out of 4.
Cool. You know, I'm thinking back on it, and all of the DreamWorks movies that I can remember off the top of my head, it's probably the best one. Yeah, I think it's like because I don't like Shark Tale, but it's Over the Hedge and probably like Shrek 2 are my favorites.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really seen Shrek 1 in a long time, but Shrek 2 is good.
Yeah,
and I like the B movie.
Sucks.
I mean, it's a bit of a meme, but I mean, then again, so is Shrek. I don't know. I like the B movie. I think it's good. Do you not like it?
No. But that's okay.
I interpreted your silence correctly.
Glenn, this week I got sort of a double or even like a triple feature. Nobody ever says like triple trouble. It's always double trouble.
Yeah, even though it still technically works because it's a alliteration.
Yeah. So anyway, here we go. Triple trouble. I am talking about the Flintstones.
Okay.
Oh wait. I gotta hit this like a top 10 YouTuber, you know, it's like, and you can't talk about family without talking about the modern Stone Age family. Mm-hmm. Something like that, right?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll isolate that and we'll put in like a cool graphic.
Yeah, okay, cool.
And only our YouTube audience will see it.
So specifically I'm talking about the cartoon from the 60s as well as the 90s movie. And also I got a little bit about the modern reboot, which I'll get to later.
I didn't even know there was a reboot.
Well, there isn't.
Bruh.
But they keep
that's
trying.
Kind of our shtick on this show.
Yeah, they really want there to be one of those. So let me get started. So the Flintstones was a cartoon from Hanna-Barbera that aired during the 60s, and at the time it was like the most successful animated show ever made. It's a product of the fact that cartoons at the time were getting labeled as like children's media.
Okay.
So early Hanna-Barbera, like Tom and Jerry stuff, did really well with all audiences, children and adults.
Slapstick sells, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And so they, cartoons were known as that for a while, but eventually after, more stuff that Hanna-Barbera released, but like Quick Draw McGraw and stuff, people were like, yeah, this is kiddie shit, and they stopped being interested. So Hanna-Barbera, wanting to reclaim that adult market, tried to get like a cartoon family sitcom going.
Okay, yeah.
So in comes the Flintstones, which at the time, during the original pitch, was called the Flagstones.
Okay.
So there's the first change for you.
All right. What is there a reason that they changed it, or is it just kind of just like Flintstone sounds better?
There was a, let me remember, I have it in my notes. Oh, that's right. So at the time, there was a comic strip. Hey, more connection to the previous bit.
There you go.
There was a comic strip called Flagstones. And that's pretty much the same thing, so they changed it to Flintstones. I think Flintstones is better. But hey, that's just me.
Hey, I mean, otherwise we might not have had Flint in Minecraft, right? If it weren't for the existence of the Flintstones in popular culture? No? Okay.
No. Definitely not that. Did you ever watch the Flintstones?
I've seen episodes, yeah.
I loved the Flintstones as a kid. I watched it because it was on Boomerang when I was
little.
little.
Yeah.
So it was like that and like Flintstones Babies, all the spin-offs and stuff. I used to watch them all the time.
All right, how about I raise you one? Did you ever have Flintstones vitamins?
Absolutely. I wanted to include a fact about Flintstones vitamins in here, but there isn't that much going on with Flintstones vitamins.
Which Flintstones vitamin are you? Take the BuzzFeed quiz now.
I tried looking up. I do have one fact about the Flintstones. It might be wrong, but the original batch of Flintstones vitamins from like the 60s and 70s had Fred, Wilma, and Barney, right? Mm-hmm. But no Betty. And there wasn't, and so it took them like 20 years before they even added a Betty vitamin. So there you go. That's some development hell for you.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
They just didn't want a Betty, I guess. But, 20 years of outcry made them change their mind. Yeah.
All right. Cool.
So, let me continue. Let me see. Okay, this was interesting.
Sorry to interrupt again, but the Flintstones only have like really young kids, right?
Yeah, and originally, actually, they didn't have any children. It wasn't until like season 2
really?
that kids
okay,
were
so
involved.
it really was. I mean, it's not an adult cartoon, but it really was a cartoon aimed more at adults.
Yeah, and later, I can't remember how many seasons there are. There are a lot, but you can definitely see it shifting audience, like shifting demographic from adults to children, because by the end of the series, it was very much a kid show again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but in the beginning,
the sitcom formula is teenager and child, opposite sex.
Yeah,
like one, like girl teenager, boy child, or boy teenager and girl child.
So the original, like the actual original inspiration for the Flintstones was a sitcom called The Honeymooners, which at the time was like the most popular show on TV. And if you like look it up, it's just the Flintstones. I mean, the Flintstones ripped them off directly. It's like the exact same character
they were
dynamics.
Live action?
The live action.
Okay.
But it was to the point that the creator of the Honeymooners considered suing Hanna-Barbera for it, but they said in an interview that they didn't want to be the guy, they didn't want to be the people to take the Flintstones off the air. So they just let it slide.
Yeah, kind of bulletproof in that way.
It was a simpler time, like today that wouldn't have worked, but back in the 60s, whatever. Okay, so this is interesting. The original pitch for the Flagstones that Hanna-Barbera came up with to pitch to the network, it took a very long time to get picked up. Like it had a lot of pushback. Initially, it was like 8 weeks of daily presentations before the network and the advertisers are like, yeah, okay, we'll give it to you. And that seems like a lot of work to me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, 8
Just
weeks
the daily
is quite
presentations.
A while,
yeah. But, you know, if there's
it's
one
not 8 weeks
lesson
of work,
to...
it's 8 weeks of, please let us do our cartoon.
Well, and they changed. They had to, like, tweak things every single time. They shifted minor things every time. Like, originally, everybody looked a little bit more caveman-like. You know, like, they weren't wearing ties. You know, they had, like, the one strap leopard print, you know, and eventually it was just, like, it got more and more streamlined until the network was like, yeah, fine, this works.
And they made them like a nostalgia, like 1950s, like family.
Yeah, it's totally
like
it wasn't even nostalgia at the time.
Pearls and stuff like that.
It's very much like the post World War II nuclear family vibe, but I feel like it wasn't even nostalgic at the time. That was just the time, you know.
Wait, when did it come out?
60s.
Okay, I mean,
it's romanticized, but you know,
it's romanticized.
I'm sure
okay,
all TV at the time was pretty much that, from my understanding.
I guess.
So hey, anyway, if you take one thing away from this episode, don't give up. It took the Flintstones, which was wildly successful, 8 weeks of daily pitches before they decided that it was worth doing. So
that's
you know, there you go. A couple other things that got ironed out during this like pitching process. Like I said, the family was originally childless in the cartoon before they had Pebbles, which was good for branding. But originally, they were going to have a son named Fred Jr.
Okay, that's more in line with this classic sitcom formula.
Yeah, exactly. And what's interesting is that he was cut pretty early on, but there is still like really early merchandise of the Flintstones does have Fred Jr. in it still. So we know what he looked like and everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So
and at the same time...
So what did he look like?
Not good.
Okay.
Kind of stupid.
Not missing much.
Yeah, not really. Also, remember Dino, their pet dinosaur? He was originally... He could like talk and he helped out with chores. And his name was Snarkosaurus.
Oh. Okay. So they're like a more wealthy family.
Yeah, I guess so. So that was taken out. Dino just became like a dog. And they added that cat.
That would not have played like now.
You know the cat in the Flintstones?
No.
Remember, like in every
like a jaguar or something?
Yeah, it was like a saber-toothed tiger, and it was in every single intro and outro. It like goes to the movies with them, and then at the end, like during the closing, he puts the cat out, and then the cat runs back inside and puts him out, and it's like this funny bit every time.
Yeah. Because it's like
the
huge.
cat, yeah, but the cat isn't in like any episodes. The cat's in like 2 episodes.
Wait, is it like implied that it's not their cat? It's just the cat that they feed?
No, that's their family cat in the show.
Okay.
And it shows up in like 1 or 2 episodes. So the fact that like I wanted to look up. I was trying really hard to find any talking about why that happened, and I have to assume that it was just like the people that made the theme song, had.
They made that first, sort of.
Yeah, they had like limited. What am I trying to say? They didn't have all of the information. They had limited reference, and so they made it with a lot of emphasis on the cat for some reason, even though the cat is. I don't even know if the cat has a name.
Nice.
Actually, speaking of the like the whole adult media thing, did you know that like in the original Simpsons, after each episode there were like advertisements for cigarettes?
Really?
Yeah, I can't believe I'd never seen this before.
And that's
but
like part of the show. That's not like.
Yeah, it's like the characters are like, long day. Let me pull out my pack of smokes.
Really?
No wonder
what brand?
Everybody smoked.
What's his? I know he drinks Duff beer. What's his?
That's Simpsons. You fucking imbecile.
Did you not say Simpsons?
No, I said Flintstones.
Oh, for real? Okay, well that makes more sense because that's older than Simpsons.
Yeah.
That's why I was so incredibly confused. Yeah, that's back when smoking was good for you.
Yeah, Winston cigarettes.
Winston's. All right, cool.
I hadn't even heard of those. Anyway, that's not that interesting. Let me see. One other thing, though, the Yabba Dabba Doo line was totally improv.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think the original line was Yahoo. You know, like when he's sliding off when the guy pulls the bell and it's like the bird that yells and then he slides off the dinosaur. You know,
Yeah.
Flintstones. And he says Yabba Dabba Doo. It was
Yeah.
supposed to be Yahoo, but the voice actor was just like, let me try this. Hey, do you guys mind if I try this real fast?
Oh, okay, so it was intentional. It wasn't
Yeah.
like okay, because have you ever heard the story behind Wubba Lubba Dub Dub in Rick and Morty?
I'm sure he was drunk.
Maybe, I don't know, but like he was the line was wub wub wub, and it was supposed to be a riff on. It was supposed to be the sound from the Three Stooges, the wub 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 wub.
Oh, right.
And he just was reading it, and I guess I don't know. Yeah, he was just like reading it like line by line, and he said wubba lubba dub dub, just in the Rick voice without trying to do an impression.
I think that for Yabba Dabba Doo, like in later interviews, he said like it was inspired by a little dabble do ya, like something that his mom said all the time. But what is that? That's like a sour cream thing, isn't it?
I think it's just like don't use too much. Like I don't think it's associated with Daisy.
With any specific brand. All right. Well, anyway, something that the guy's mom said, and so that's why Yabba Dabba Doo exists.
You know what
which
that
is
sounds like
weird.
to me? That sounds like to me when somebody like put a mic in his face and like, where did it come from? Where did Yabba Dabba Doo come from? He's like, I don't know. Like my mom said. I guess my mom said a dabble do ya.
Yeah, it does kind of. I mean, people are looking for meanings everywhere, right?
Yeah, and he's like, dude, I just messed up the line.
No, I'm pretty sure he did it intentionally. He was like,
He's like, dude, I just thought it would be funnier.
yeah, I thought it would be funny. Cartoon characters at the time did have catchphrases like that anyway,
Yeah.
so.
And they still do.
Yeah.
I can't quote any of them because that would be a reference and you would make fun of me for it.
We have a very strict no referencing YouTubers policy on this channel, so.
Shit.
So we're taking you in.
I can't go back.
Broken the rule. Yeah. Anyway, so now I want to talk about the movie. 1994. John Goodman is Fred Flintstone.
Nice.
Rick Moranis is Barney Rubble. Good cast all around.
Yeah.
All rounders. It took like 9 years to make, but that's another one of those things. It's just like people dicking around without a script for too long.
Mm-hmm.
So
did they have the actors lined up before they had the script?
No. So
Okay.
in like 1985 is when a couple of producers.
That would be a huge bummer.
Yeah. Let me see. So it was like 1985 when the film rights were purchased, but nothing came of it for like 9 years because no solid script was able to be developed. So eventually, Amblin Entertainment, Steven Spielberg,
Nice.
Steven Spielberg. In the intro to the Flintstones movie, it's like Steven Spielrock or something like that.
Gosh.
So
This
there
is
you
like
go.
in like on the like credits.
Yeah,
Opening credits.
yeah.
Oh,
Opening
geez.
credits. So Amblin bought it, and they got a script written.
That's
so.
going too far.
I think that Steven Spielberg had worked with John Goodman on a different project before, like maybe even for a TV thing, and so he was like, "Yeah, this is our Fred Flintstone for sure."
Okay.
I tried watching some clips. It's that type of movie is not my thing at all.
Oh
where it's
no!
like,
is it anybody's?
I mean, it made a lot of money, so.
I guess.
But for me, it's like that and like that Popeye movie starring Robin Williams.
Well,
like,
yeah, and then like the Scooby-Doo movies. I don't know. Anytime you turn a cartoon into live action, it's like.
Well, I think the Scooby-Doo movies are a good example of how to do it right, where it's like a fresh take on the characters in like in like the real world, whereas the Flintstones movie is like, how do we get this cartoon? How do we get real world
they try to make the
look
whole
like
cartoon world be a thing?
Yeah, and so it's like there's nothing interesting in it, and so at that point, like,
yeah, I see.
Just
yeah,
be
like in the
animation.
Scooby-Doo movies, it's like what is Shaggy's equivalent in our universe?
Or at least that's what it was supposed to be when James Gunn wrote it, and I want to talk about the Scooby-Doo movies at some point.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's
rather
that's
than
how I feel about
transplanting Shaggy into our universe, it was like what character in our universe is equivalent to Shaggy.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The movie, so the Flintstones movie was let me see here. Oh, right. So we do have a couple of, like, in interviews, people have talked about what the scripts were during that, like, 9-year period when nobody could, like, pin anything down. And so one of the main ones was a Grapes of Wrath thing.
What?
Yeah, so... Oh, yeah, that was another thing. You referenced Grapes of Wrath earlier, and I was like, wow, that's, like, uncanny.
I guess. We've done that before.
Yeah.
Where we, like, I don't know. It's when you had that long streak of you going first all the time, you would, a lot of times you would say something that came up in mine.
Right. And it's weird because, like, sometimes it makes sense because we're both talking about family, you know, but Grapes of Wrath is a weird thing for us both to mention because I don't even know what Grapes of Wrath is about.
It's about making wine.
You know that isn't true.
So
there was, the script had like a Grapes of Wrath thing going where Fred and Barney leave Bedrock during a depression to look for jobs, and that was an idea that bounced around, but it turned into like a weird corporate espionage film.
Yeah.
Is the final version.
What was the final film was like
some new folks move into Bedrock and they like take over the rock quarry business, but then it turns out they're trying to rob them blind, you know?
Interesting.
And
like,
you know,
okay.
Stuff happens, you know, adventures are had, lessons are learned. I haven't seen the movie.
Yeah. Neither have I.
I saw a clip where the bad guy like kidnaps Bam Bam and Pebbles and ties him up and is gonna throw him off a cliff.
Classic.
So, yeah, good fun movie for the family.
Yeah. I mean, that's just a thing that they do in cartoons.
Mm-hmm. But see, that's another thing. It's so cartoony. It just does not.
But it's a live action movie.
Yeah, it doesn't do it for me. There's good puppetry. If you like look at some clips, like the puppetry is really good, but there's also some really shitty CGI.
Yeah.
Where like Dino will be a puppet and it's like moving around. It's like, oh, that looks really good. But then it'll like get up and run away, and it's like the worst CGI you've ever seen. Anyway, that's all I have about the movie. You know, it's listed as, in a lot of places, like one of those classic development hell things. But again, it's really just they bought the film rights in '85 and then did nothing with them for 9 years. So development hell, whatever.
As we've been doing this podcast, I've kind of realized that that's just kind of how things go.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just doesn't. It just seems like people don't. I don't know. That's how it happens usually.
Mm-hmm. I feel you. You can get some good stories out of it, though. For example, Seth MacFarlane, the Family Guy guy, has for a very long time wanted to reboot The Simpsons Flintstones. Sorry, he's wanted to reboot the Flintstones for a very long time, and it just has not happened.
Was that? Are you saying that he wanted to reboot the Flintstones, and that's why he made Family Guy?
No, but you know, part of the reason that Family Guy and The Simpsons exists is because the Flintstones kind of laid a groundwork, right, for adult cartoons, sitcom, like family sitcom cartoons.
Okay. Yeah.
They walked so that Family Guy could run.
Quintessential American.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And so obviously somebody who's in that business like Seth MacFarlane is probably would be a big fan of the Flintstones. So for years he's been saying how he wanted to make a reboot. So in 2011, Fox announced that they were going to make that reboot, like that it was going through with Seth MacFarlane at the helm, and that it would be released in 2013. And then that date just sort of came and went without a series.
Nice.
Yeah,
and
real good.
Did he have anything to say on that, or is it just like...
He didn't for a long time, actually. In 2012, one of the heads of Fox was quoted saying that, like, during the development, all the heads were like, yeah, it's fine, it's not great. And so, you know, it was assumed that the show needed a little bit more time in the oven. But, you know, 6 years later, Seth MacFarlane finally broke the silence in a Reddit AMA, where he announced that it wasn't going to happen, that like it was just canceled. And he said, here's his reason. is that he couldn't figure out how to differentiate Fred Flintstone from Peter Griffin.
That's a weird thing to say, but I can get that, I guess.
How?
Like, I don't know, just like when you have a character and you're like, and you just fixate on your character, and then you try to make a different character, and you're just
right.
I see. And you start like accidentally channeling your other successful character into it.
I just feel like if they were to make a series where it's the Flintstones, but it's literally just the humor from Family Guy,
yeah,
that wouldn't be. I mean,
so
it would.
In a way, we're glad that he didn't do that.
Yeah, basically. I used to like really, I wouldn't say look up to Seth MacFarlane, but I envied him a lot just because I felt like he had my dream job.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like just a guy who can pitch these stupid cartoon ideas and then like just do all the voices that he wants.
He doesn't have to do any follow through. And then
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of other people like examples of that, like Alex Hirsch with Gravity Falls or Justin Roiland with like Rick and Morty. So there are more examples than just him, but.
Yeah,
if he's really going to come out and say like, yeah, I can't tell the difference between Fred Flintstone and Peter Griffin, then it's probably a good thing that he isn't making the series.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that does feel like a kind of stupid thing to say, and although I can understand that he is a professional, and I feel like he should be able to make that distinction.
Yeah,
I mean, has he made any other cartoons?
It was Family Guy, and then American Dad, and then the Cleveland Show, which got canceled, and then he made a show called Border Town, which is exactly like Family Guy, and it got canceled.
Okay, yeah. So if Seth MacFarlane did make a Flintstones, it would just be Family Guy, but in the Stone Age.
Yeah.
It would be the Stone Age episode of Family Guy.
I was thinking, do you want to like? We do a lot of where we pitch a project, and it's normally video games. But do you want to just real fast see if we can pin out like a better version of the Flintstones? Like what a good modern reboot would be?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's try it. I had like one idea.
Okay, so hold on.
Yeah.
Modern reboot, it's still cavemen.
Yes.
But by modern reboot, you mean instead of having that, what I called nostalgia and you called just the way TV was back then, instead of it being like set in the post-World War II Greatest Generation era, we have it set in like modern times.
Yeah, there would be like the iPad episode, where Fred Flintstone gets an iPad, but it's called like an iRock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he gets irate. And that can be one of the jokes.
Okay. All right, I like it.
This iRock is making me irate.
And then Barney walks in and he's like, yeah, I just got this iRock XL. And Fred gets jealous,
Yeah, okay. It's all about consumerism. It doesn't do anything. It's just a rock.
No. I do think.
Do they call each other on shells? Is that how that works? They have like conch shells?
Yeah, I bet. They would totally be like the phone episode. Anyway.
Okay, so are you going to like. Well, you say your piece because you obviously have something you want to say.
I think the most interesting thing in a Flintstones reboot, if we were to reboot it, we wouldn't want to just rehash, right?
Right.
We want to bring something new and fresh to it.
Right.
And I think the world building in the Flintstones is the most interesting part for me.
Yeah.
Where we explore, the fact that they have just a squirrel that like trims his beard. It like eats off all of his.
Squirrel?
It's like a squirrel, and like they have like a dinosaur under the sink that is their garbage disposal.
Uh-huh.
I want to explore more about those characters. I think that's what I want to see the most of in this series.
Like their emotions?
Their emotions, yeah.
Oh no. Okay.
Because we get a little bit of it, right? Because they're clearly sentient. And anytime there's a spot like a sight gag where the squirrel eats his beard hair, he goes, "It's a living."
Okay.
But how does that really affect this squirrel?
So I guess the squirrel finds sustenance in the beard hair and enough to survive.
Well, they pay the animals. I think that's the implication. Yeah, that they're like employed.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
They like fill up their cars with gasoline from a woolly mammoth trunk.
So he's just holding it in his nose.
Yeah.
Is he holding his breath. He's just mouth breathing the whole time.
Yeah. And so that's the thing. It's like kind of scary when you think about it.
What if the main character is one of those? Like, what would you say is the one they use the most?
It's like the dinosaur that mows the grass or something.
Okay.
Let's say it's the squirrel. Let's say it's the
beard squirrel.
The beard squirrel.
Okay, we could have the beard squirrel and the grass mowing dinosaur be like the pair, the dynamic duo, the RJ and Vern.
Okay.
And they're like the main characters of the story.
What if we go like really dark with it? Where it's like it's less of a Family Guy series and more of like a mini series, like on HBO.
Okay,
that
like
gets
you're thinking like a 1 season thing.
Yeah, exactly. So here's how it starts, right? Okay, you get a normal kind of boring cartoon intro episode where it's like, oh, Fred's at the bar drinking too much and he's having trouble with his marriage, but by the end of the episode they work it out. But during that episode, it introduces Beard Squirrel, right, and Lawnmower Dinosaur.
We got to give them names.
Or
we never give them names. It's like it like drives home the point. Like the Jungle. You remember the Jungle?
No.
It was all about like the meatpacking industry.
Okay, but I like that. I like where you're coming from.
There's like a dude in there. His name is Jurgis, and I'm pretty sure his wife like just never gets a name, or maybe she does, and maybe he just doesn't. I don't know. But like somebody in that one just never gets a name because they're like faceless.
That's good. That's smart. So that's how we introduce it, right? That's the first episode. It hits the beats, but it introduces the sort of darker side. And throughout the series, there's like a B plot basically about these like Beard Squirrel goes home to their partner. And it like they kiss and it's like, oh, your mouth is still full of hair and it's like I can't take this anymore. Yeah. Until it becomes and during that, the A plot is
the same.
Fred Flintstone gets an iPad and he gets a demotion from his job. Contrast. But slowly the B plot kind of takes over and it becomes a series about Beard Squirrel. Until the finale is like a revolt against the citizens of Bedrock.
Okay. All we have to lose is our chains, Tavarish. I see.
Exactly.
Okay.
See, I can see that being powerful.
That is just the plot of The Jungle.
Oh, okay.
He like joins the socialists and like they start they plan to start a revolution against the meatpacking industry. I don't think it happens in the book.
I should read The Jungle then.
Yeah. It's interesting.
But what I think is fun here is the sort of subversion, right? Of you think it's a cartoon, but then it turns into
not a cartoon.
Still a cartoon, but a darker cartoon. Because cartoons are for kids. Because it's
but
like
not this one.
Not this cartoon.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, cool. That's a good pitch. Anyway, I'm pretty much done.
Nice.
I know that our forte is normally video games.
Oh yeah.
And so TV pitches aren't exactly where our brand is.
Yeah, nobody would pick that. We're not going to bother time traveling for this one.
What if we did like I was thinking about because there have been Flintstones video games like for the NES or something. I doubt any of them are any good.
Yeah.
What if it was like, because you know how Fred Flintstone like runs real fast in his car and makes it move.
It's a racing game.
Like, what was that?
A racing game?
No, but more like so he can run real fast and his legs do that kind of
GTA
circle thing. But also he like slides on dinosaurs' backs. What if we just do a texture swap of like a Sonic game?
Okay.
And it's like a momentum-based platformer.
Yeah.
Where you play as Fred Flintstone sliding around on dinosaurs. Just all the textures are just different dinosaurs. All the background textures.
Yeah, okay, I can get behind that. Yeah, I don't think anyone would notice.
Yeah, probably not.
All
right, so I'm pretty much that's everything I have. Oh, actually though, Elizabeth Banks wants to make a Flintstones reboot. She announced that in like July of 2019, and we haven't heard anything since then. So that's also probably not happening.
Okay, who is Elizabeth Banks?
She's that one actress. Okay,
that one, yeah.
Folks, that's the show. Hope you had fun. If you want to reach out to us, our email is developmentheaven@gmail.com.
Yeah, if you like the show, let us know. You can do so via Twitter @devhevpod. That's DEVHEVPOD.
Couple quick shout-outs. Glenn, you did our intro music. It is Bird, the song Bird on SoundCloud, which we have linked in the description.
Also linked are Matthew Inney and Natalie Quick. Matthew did our various logos, and Natalie did some great work on our cover, so thank you to them. And thank you to you for listening.
Nice. Oh, also, leave a review. Or don't, whatever.
Whatever.
We don't need you to. We would like it.